Hello, my lords and ladies, and welcome to another episode of Nerd Nights. Painting some more Pox Wretches. This is part 3. We're doing them all. I think this is the halfway point. I think there's 12 or 18 Pox Wretches. No, 12. 6. Yeah, I think that's right. Anyways, yeah, so we're doing some more. We're going to do them all. First off, I want to say thank you to all my YouTube members. You guys are absolutely amazing. Can't thank you guys enough for all this because this does take a lot of time and effort. All my subscribers, anybody who watches this, shares this video, you guys are absolutely amazing. This is pretty easy, a lot of contrast paints, but without further ado, let's go. All right, the first thing you're going to do is obviously build your miniature. And I am putting some Stirland Mud down on the bottom portion of it. And then I am using an airbrush to like a light gray. You can use a white, anything that is light colored, of course. You could probably even do like a bone color if you would like on these. It is up to you though. So what we're doing is all of our skin areas. We're going to be doing some Reikland Fleshshade. And we want to keep that wet as we're going to be doing the next step right after we throw all this Reikland Fleshshade on there. While that is still wet, and this is not as wet as I would like it to have been to kind of wet blend it, it still is just fine. We're going to take some Volupus Pink, and we are going to throw that on the little, like, I don't know, rolls of fat and infection onto our Pox Wretches, whatever it is. You know what I mean? All right, for the green skirt, we're going to be using some Militarium Green on there. If you've been watching these Pox Wretches, you kind of know what we're doing. A lot of them are very similar, and some of them are not so much. So we're doing some of that Militarium Green on there. For our trousers, we're going to take some Psycho Brown out. I suggest mixing a little bit of Lahmian Medium there on a wet palette and then throwing that on there. That Psycho Brown out of the pot, for some reason, just blotches so bad. So if you thin it with some Lahmian Medium or some Contrast Medium, it works perfectly. For our wooden shield, we're going to be using some of that Wyldwood on there. Don't worry about getting it on all the other stuff. We're going to paint over some metallics here in a little bit. So slap it on, save some time, and move on to the next step. For the belt and for our axe handle, we're going to use some Garaghak Sewer. When you think of Garaghak Sewer, you think of like a green, but it is a very nice brown color. I like it. It's gross. For a little pouch on the back, we're just going to use some Snakebite Leather real quick. For our, I don't even know what this is, a little tunic that's cut up, we're going to use some Soulblight Grey on there. This works a little bit better than Apothecary White, as the Soulblight Grey actually has gray in it, and it gives you depth, and it works great. All right, for our little brassy areas, so the middle crotch area, the little, I don't know, symbols that are on the chest area, and then on the shield as well, we're going to be using some brass balls. You can use whatever brass color you would like. My Citadel brass dried out a while ago, and I just have not bought anymore, so I got to use some P3, and I really enjoy P3's paints. So, yeah, but you can use whatever brass color you would like. For all of our metallics, we're going to be using some Iron Warriors. This includes the axe, obviously metallic portion, the spikes that are coming out of the shield, and the rim of the shield as well, as it is metallic. For the chainmail coming down from the middle crotch section, we're going to be using some Ruin Lord brass. And then we totally forgot, but we got to use that Cygor Brown again on those straps. So if you still have it out, grab it again. If you still have it on your wet palette, well, there you go. You still got it. And paint there, and then we're moving on to the washes. All right, 3 washes that we are doing, and I'll talk them all at once as these videos play. For the brass areas, we're going to be using all of our Agrax Earthshade on there, so anything that's brass or that Ruin Lord brass as well, we're going to use that. The next one we're going to do, and you'll see these here in a second, is the green area. We're going to use some Athnian Camoshade on there, nothing crazy. And then for all of our metallics, we will be using some Nulin Oil. No shocker there. Let this all dry, and then we will move on to the highlights step. All right, for our skin, we're going to be using just one color, which is Flayed One Flesh. Now we're focusing on our head, so anything on the lips, not doing the top of the head, and we're really focusing on those boils that are coming out. So if you see those pink boils, just paint a little bit on the top to give it that nice circular, sphere look, and that red will stick out underneath, and it'll look like an infected boil. Look very nice. We're also doing the toesies, the hands, a little bit onto the arms, but not overdoing it. You don't want to overpower it, but the boils are really what the focal point is on this miniature. Now, if you heard my rant in the last video, I am not a fan of Citadel whites at all, but I am a fan of the whites from P3. So we're going to use some Devout White onto the raised areas of the white, so headband area, and the cut-up tunic as well. To highlight up our green areas, we're just going to do a quick little bit of Craig Khaki, basically on some of the raised areas on the front and on the back, and then on the edge, we're going to do some of that Craig Khaki on there as well, but don't overdo it. You can also use Ogryn Camo, Elysium Green, anything light green color. We're going to kind of do the same thing with the trousers, and we're using some XV88. Again, just hitting those edges and a little bit onto the raised areas. Again, these are just kind of grunts. So, man, with that Cyan Brown looking the way it is, you really don't need to do that. It's already got that natural highlight. It looks phenomenal as is, so you don't really need to do it, but it's up to you. All right, we're then going to take some of that Canoptek Alloy, and we're going to put a little bit of this into the brass areas. You can also dry brush this if you would like. It's up to you. And we're also going to use this on the spikes, a little bit on the edging for our metallics around the shield. And I am not doing this at all on the axe itself. We're going to keep that as is. We're going to dry brush it here in a second. With your dry brush, we're going to take some Ryza Rust. Very awesome looking Citadel dry brush paint. You can also use orange, whatever orange you got, and just dry brush that on there. I'm doing this on the axe itself and all of the metallics. Just be cognizant of your other stuff because it will get everywhere if you are not careful. Winding it down for the base, we're doing a 50-50 mix of Drakenhof Nightshade and Nulin Oil and putting that onto the base. Make it look like nice and dark, but you can use whatever you want. These are just suggestions. And then your favorite part of painting the miniature, because it means you're done, is the rim of the base. And of course, I am doing mine in Abaddon Black, but you feel free to do whatever color you would like to match your army. And that's it. That's all she wrote. Very nice looking. Now, again, these won't win you any awards. We're not going for that. We are trying to get this on the table. We're trying to play Darkwater Quest. And we're trying to make it look even better with painted miniatures. So, yay us. So, yeah. I hope you enjoyed that video. That is part 3 of the Pox Wretches. We've got some more to do. We've got the other minions to do. And we got to finish all the bosses. And we need to do this rather quickly. At least that's what I'm hoping. Again, say thank you to all of my YouTube members. Can't thank you guys enough. All my subscribers, anybody who shares this video, posts this video, leaves a comment. Can't thank you guys enough. We do have some more Darkwater coming up, more COD. We do have to finish Elden Ring. I am still staring at that miniature. I know. And then I do have the expansion for Elden Ring I need to paint, so that is in the works. But until next time, I love you all, and I will see you on the next one. All right, paint on.